Hello everyone, Scartelli here. So welcome to round 4 of the GTWS Manufacturers Cup 2026. So this time we are at the circuit. Time didn't go that bad, so starting in P7. I'd already done a race before this one previously, but so all those races that I do that I don't show here, so you can always have a look at them, because I always upload them onto the GT website, so a lot of confusion there. So I end up coming out in P2 in the middle of all that. So really good start. Also this time I decided to, so we also in this race, so I forgot to mention that we had to use the softs and mediums in this case, so we're racing softs and racing medium tires. So I decided to use the soft tires first in this race to see if I could pull ahead, to maybe get a bit of distance to the rest of the packs if they started fighting at the back. So going a bit wide there, compromising my exit. The Icelandic driver ahead was really fast. How cool. Trying to see if I could keep up with this front group. And here, so just end up getting walled. So being pushed against the wall. And that made me lose a lot of time because I also had some damage. It was the German driver racing Torben. I mean, we were trying to give each other space, but he jumped the curb, and ended up hitting me on the side, and then pushed me wide. And that also made me lose a lot of positions. So gone from P2 to P6. So this was the final race of the day, so I wouldn't get any more chances after this race, so I knew that I just had to keep on pushing and obviously try to avoid more contact with other drivers. If I didn't get a good result in this race, so I didn't have another chance. So basically I'm just trying to survive and try not to make a lot of mistakes. Just decide to push or bump draft Evie ahead, because like I said, I didn't want to lose a lot of time. Like I said, since I was on the soft tires, I just wanted to try and keep up with this front pack. So, because I really thought that most of them were going to be on the softs as well, but they weren't. So as you can see here, so Will was on the medium tires, and then also the Croatian driver was on the softs, then mediums, so I was on the softs. Also the softs really wore really fast in this race. So the best strategy would probably be 2 laps on softs and then 3 on the medium tires, or vice versa. Mediums, softs. There's some people here already with a 4-second penalty. Softs, mediums, softs, mediums, and softs. Lift here, as you can see, so didn't want to force an overtake there. Which could probably cause an accident, so just trying to keep my pace behind the BMW driver ahead. Also this Group 3 Citroën GT is not very good at saving fuel, for example. So as you can see, my car has less fuel than, for example, the BMW or the Lamborghini or the Porsche. The Ferrari is more or less the same as the Citroën. So I knew that I was going to struggle in this race also because of the fuel. Trying to keep up with the front two drivers, but the drop on the quality of the soft tire is really fast and really big. So I was already struggling a bit. I hit the curb there, and that just unsettled the car. Maybe there was a bit of control there. Fortunately, I didn't lose any positions. But now I had a really big pack behind me. Driver. Yeah. Just careful from behind. The other driver. So was also trying not to slide a lot, because I was thinking that maybe I was probably going to try a different strategy, maybe using the soft tires for 3 laps instead of just 2. See if I could make these tires last more, but that would prove to be, well, not a good decision. Because on the 3rd lap I was going to struggle even more using them tires. Since I had already been struggling a bit on these tires, so the soft tires, I was really debating with myself whether if I should hit or not on this lap. So I really thought that maybe the best decision was to pit, but so ultimately I just decided to keep out. Also because I just decided to do that because I didn't want to pit and then have to struggle in the middle of the pack. So if most of them didn't really decide to pit, I was trying to get some space to breathe, and not to have a lot of pressure from behind, even though I had a German driver right behind me, so Matze. P6 at this point, but I knew that there were also some fast drivers behind that could probably catch me if I made a lot of mistakes, and also because I'd have to change onto the medium tires, and then they would be, some of them would be on the softs, so they also would be faster than me. Especially because most of them decided to start on the medium tires. I just wanted some clean air to see if I could maybe push a bit. A bit wide. I overslowed the car a bit, and then I got hit from behind. But, oh, I guess it wasn't really intentional from the German driver. We just kept going. Since he had a better run there, so I just decided to let him go, because I guess I didn't really want to be fighting a lot and then ending up losing a lot of time. So the German driver just loses control, except just a few corners ahead of me. Then I go back to P6. But here I was already starting to struggle on these tires. Also, after this I just started losing a bit of confidence on these tires as well. So I wasn't really pushing as much as I wanted. This point was kind of a lonely race. But for me it was okay, because I just wanted to, you know, if I could finish in P6, so I would be really happy with that. Like I said, my focus was trying not to make any more mistakes, even if I couldn't push as hard as I wanted to. Another mistakes going on the curve. So the curves here at the at the Nordschleife are really dangerous, especially in this car, so in the Citroën. It was pitting, but he was on the medium tires. Also, I guess most of the drivers ahead were going to pit, so I was going to pit as well. Yeah, so what's interesting is that the first three drivers were on the medium tires, proving that obviously the medium tires would last for longer and with good pace as well. So changing onto the medium tires at this point, so I had to put a bit of fuel in the car because, like I said, so the Citroën is not really good at saving fuel compared to some of the other cars. And obviously that also made me lose a bit more time in the pits. Coming out in P8. So the French driver behind was on the softs now, as well as the Lexus driver, so SDI Racing. Jan as well on the softs. So already 4 cars had quit the race. So like I said, I knew that I was going to have to try and see if I could push as much as I could, because I was on the medium tires and I didn't really want to lose any more positions, even though I knew that that was probably going to be very difficult to do. So these 2 cars ahead were fighting a bit, but I ended up making a mistake as well, so I didn't really gain as much time as I wanted. Just trying to see if I could catch at least the 2 drivers ahead, since as you could see, so they were also on the medium tires, so same strategy as me. Also starting to feel a bit worried because I could see that these 2 drivers behind me were starting to catch up. Audi driver there. We're out of the track. And still at the tires. I could see that he was struggling a bit. But in this part of the Nordschleife, obviously it's very difficult to overtake, so that's why you really want to risk causing an accident and lose even more time. Obviously, I was aware that he was slowing us down a bit. I already had the French driver so right behind me, so he lost a bit of control there, so it was a bit lucky for me. Yes, the guitars were already very warm. Audi. And here it felt like we kind of braked in. We didn't know why, because we usually brake in that part of the circuit. I just decided to go for it. I managed to do the overtake. And then I was just hoping, so since STI Racing was on the since it was on the soft tires, I knew that he was probably going to try and push to try and overtake the Audi driver, so Ivo. So I was hoping that they had contact like they did in that situation. I tried to see if I could get a bit of a breathing room, try and extend my gap a bit. I knew that there were a lot of drivers on the soft tires behind us at this point, so I just was hoping that Ivo, the Italian driver, could slow the others down behind him. But I knew that I was going to have to suffer for another lap. As you can see there, 4 cars right behind me. I think the Audi driver was already, so he decided to pit again, since he was already struggling on the medium tires. So now I knew that there's going to be a fight between the four of us. And here, STI Racing just tapped the Ferrari driver Jan. I wanted to push more, but I couldn't really. Not on these medium tires. It's really hard. Drive was starting to catch really fast on those soft tires. You can also see on my rear view mirror that there were at least two cars close together. There's this Chevrolet and also the Lexus. I was thinking what the best strategy would be. I started thinking that, well, since we are all fighting for position, so if one of them passes me, so I decided that I was going to let the other one pass me as well, so that they could keep fighting with each other. That way, if anything happened between them, so I could maybe take advantage of that. Driving go. And then I also decided to leave some space to let the Lexus driver go as well. So I realized, obviously at this point, that also the Lexus driver had a 1 second penalty, so I knew that I had to try and see if I could at least be close to the two ahead, so that I could take advantage of that. But I knew that it was going to be really hard because I didn't really have the pace, especially on these medium tires. Like I said, I was just hoping that they would start fighting a lot, trying to see if they could gain one more position, and then see if I could take advantage of that. They were already doing there, so going side by side. P9 wouldn't be that bad, but obviously wanted to see if I could maybe at least gain one more position. So not the best of accidents there. He just made me lose a bit more time. So didn't really fight as much as I was expecting, so but still the Lexus driver had a 1 second penalty, and I just wanted to see if I could at least take advantage of that and get to P8. As possible, and I'm going to end up finishing in P8. So I was kind of happy with that, so not that bad. So my strategy was probably not the best, so starting on the softs and then going on to the mediums, so especially considering that most of the drivers started on the medium tires. But well, like I said, P8 wasn't really that bad, so I was kind of happy with that. So I hope you have enjoyed this race again. So, and I will, I will be back just in a few moments. So also to do the weekly challenges. So this time in Portuguese. So, and I will see you also again in English, so for the next round of the Manufacturers Cup. So, see you soon.